Hola, hola, hola. Hello, 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 my beautiful planner babe divas. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl here, Daniela, La Planning Diva. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking in with me today. I really appreciate you. How are you doing? I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're having a wonderful, beautiful time. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm here in the Crafty Planner Babe studio, and I rearranged some things. I rearranged my little, my Crafty Planner Babe studio here on this side. Not by choice. Not by choice, trust me. I planned to sit down to film this like 30 minutes ago. And while I was setting up this little intro, I thought to move my candle a little bit closer to over here so you can appreciate the little flame here, adding to the aesthetic, the vibe. And then what do I get for my troubles? I spilled the candle. I put it on a couple of my stamps and it was kind of uneven and it just fell. It fell and sprayed blue melty wax all over my beautiful pink tablecloth. I had to take everything off of my table here, which I have a lot of stuff. So 30 minutes later, I had to try to clean the wax off the pink tablecloth. There was no way I could get it out. So that stain is hidden. It's a shameful stain. It's hidden underneath one of my little knitted decorative little blankets here. I've hid it. I've hid that stain. I had to try to clean the stain out. I had to rearrange everything, take everything off, clean everything. I mean, it did force me to tidy up. There was a bit of a mess going on over here. And so it did force me to tidy up. I will say that. Anyways, whew, I cannot believe that. So we have recovered though. We're alive. We survived. We managed to get through it. But that's why I have a different background here, a little rearrangement. I should probably try to move this out of the way like that. That's better. Cool. So I'm really excited because today, for the first time in probably 8 months or more, I'm doing a work planner plan with me, and I'm going to be using my Erin Condren planner, which is the planner I've been using for work. So I have been meaning to do this video for forever, and I keep on planning on doing it. It just never happens. I think I'm procrastinating it. I think I'm dragging my feet on it because there's so much I want to make sure I get right, I guess. When I do this work planner plan with me, I'm still trying to figure things out as well. So it's not super clear how I want to go about it. I've been wanting to do work plan with me's for a while, but it just took me a while to figure out exactly how I wanted to use my planner. Because as you all know, I started a new job about 7 months ago. And not only was it a new job, it was a career transition into a field of science I had never been in. So it's taken me a while to kind of find my footing, figure out how I'm using my planner, what I'm planning for. And that's another thing, y'all, is that before in my previous career, I had a very solid idea what my goals were. And then moving into this, this new stage of life, this new career path, I felt like I had to figure out what my goals were. It took me a while. I feel like I've definitely started to figure that out though. So I finally feel ready to kind of share this process with you. So without further ado, let's turn the camera around and get to planning. Okay, look at this beautiful stack of planning supplies. Doesn't this make your heart happy? So before we get started with the plan with me, I do want to do a quick whirlwind of the supplies I have here, what I have going on, and what my current work planner setup is. So let's start off with this. This is my Erin Condren vertical planner. It's so cute. It's my Hello Kitty planner. I personalized it. It says Daniela, La Planning Diva on it. And then the coil is this gorgeous sunset coil. So I have been using this for the past couple of months. This was a radical departure from the big happy planner vertical that I was using for work prior to my career transition. As I've mentioned on the channel, I transitioned into a career in medical research as a research technician. So I'm still in academic research, but I am not the driving force behind the research. I am just a hired hand doing the work in the laboratory. It definitely was a job that I felt required a lot less brain power, a lot less time. I definitely took this job with the intention of clocking in and out and not working a minute more, because after a decade-long career in academia, I definitely felt burnt out. I was tired of working, more than 11 hours a day, and I wanted a little bit of a break. So I transitioned from that big happy planner. I'm a happy planner girly. Happy planner is what I love to do. I decided to try something new for my work planner. I wanted something smaller. And at first I thought about doing a classic sized planner, classic sized happy planner. But I felt like I wanted to do something different, I felt like I was in such a different stage of my career. I saw these Erin Condren planners. I've always wanted to try an Erin Condren planner, so I decided to go for this baby right here. Planner itself is fine. I like it. I enjoy it. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. So this was the past month here. It definitely is the right size for me at this point of my career development. Sometimes I have a lot of fun with it. Sometimes I'm a little bit more subdued. I'll use the note pages. I still haven't figured out what to do with this section right here. I don't really use the monthly calendar as much, although I do want to get into the habit of using this. Sometimes I don't use it for weeks in a row. Sometimes I do use it. And that's just how it goes. So we are in May. I really like the Hello Kitty collaboration with Erin Condren. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get an Erin Condren as well. So there's that. So that's my planner. I generally don't look at this much beyond at work. And sometimes I even leave it at work, which is very different for me. I'm someone that always took work home. So that is interesting that I've been leaving that at work. In this work plan with me, I did want to switch up the cover because I got 3 new covers at the Erin Condren store when I went this past weekend with Planner Babe Rachel. We went to go check out the Hello Kitty Cafe and the Erin Condren store. And I think I'm going to switch into this cover for spring. That vlog will soon be coming up, I think. I vlogged the whole experience. I hope you enjoy. I also got some Hello Kitty things at the Erin Condren store. I got these little stickers, so I have that here. We might use that. This is the other part of my work planner setup. This is a big happy planner notebook, which I use as my lab notebook, and it's really been working amazingly for me. I did a video a while ago where I showed how I turned my lab notebook into a planner, like a happy planner notebook, I should say. It wasn't really a planner because it's just pages in here. And I used that for a while, but after a while, I just hated the pages so much. I'll link that video in the cards below in case you're interested in watching that. I hated the pages so much because they're ugly lab notebook pages that a couple months in, I decided to do another radical change to my lab notebook. And I essentially just threw away all of my lab notebook pages and I just switched them to happy planner note pages. And I have been loving it. I love this thing so much. It really fills the need for me. So this is my lab notebook and it's just filled with all of my laboratory notes here. Yeah, it can be messy. I try to add color here and there. I try to add stickers here and there, but it's just pages and pages of my laboratory notes. And that is the first section here. I also have a section for just general notes. As I mentioned, this is a radical departure from the research I was involved in before. As you all know, I was in social insect genomics, particularly honeybee and ant genomics, evolutionary biology, ecology, that sort of stuff. And then this lab is medical research and it's focused on lung disorders, lung disease. So when I joined, I really needed to bring myself up to speed with lung biology. So I've been doing a lot of research and self-study, trying to understand lung biology and the mechanisms of lung disorder. So these are just notes that I take to kind of study the lung more, and then I have more pages. And then the last section is just a general notes section. These are mostly meeting notes, so I have that. And then something that I've been meaning to do probably not in this video, but probably in an upcoming video, is I want to punch these. These are all protocols, methodological protocols for like harvesting lungs from mice, staining tissue, genotyping. These are all just protocols, and then my notes on the protocols. I want to like punch these and like print out nice copies. I punch them and then put them into my lab notebook so that I can have them. They're just always floating around here in the back for now. I have some daily pages here, a whiteboard, an envelope, some stickers, another protocol that should be back here, some stickers, some boxes, sticky notes, a couple of these daily schedule sheets, some of these like skinny mini pages. And then I just have some vision boards from the Happy Planner. I just like having these in here. I actually journaled about my perfect job when I was transitioning out of academia, and I was a little bit at a loss of what it was I wanted to transition into. My whole life up to that point had been so locked into being an academic, being a research scientist, pursuing a professorship. Like it was a little bit hard to figure out who I was outside of that in terms of like my career. So I journaled this. I still remember how lost I felt when I was writing this. I still hadn't accepted any job offers at that point, even though I had 2 on the table, 1 in academia, 1 out of academia, and I still wasn't sure which one I was going to take. I ended up exiting academia at this fork in my life, and I still remember feeling so uncertain about the future when I journaled. So, but a lot of this still remains true as to what it is I'm looking for in my career. And honestly, you guys, I think in 2 years, once I reach my 2-year mark at this current position, I'm going to reevaluate again and see what I want to do at that point. Do I want to pursue a different position? Do I want to stay in this lab? I'm still thinking about it. And that is pretty much it. I have the yearly calendar at the beginning, which I don't really use, and then my A page. And that is my lab notebook. And then I have this folder, my Rilakkuma folder, where I have just papers. These are just like research papers that I want to read to help me, again, just kind of understand lung biology a little bit more and be caught up with the latest research in lung biology. Okay, so that is my setup. I definitely need a lab notebook. I mean, every scientist needs a lab notebook, but I definitely need a lab notebook and a planner. These 2 kind of make up the bulk of my my planning system at work. I need to put in my little bookmark here. Let's put it in. So let's pop this in for the upcoming week. Okay, there we go. So let's pull this aside. And then I quickly want to go over this stack of stuff here, just to show you what I'm working with. So I have a bunch of stickers. I have the little sticker fan, Hello Kitty stickers that I want to use in this plan with me. I also have a couple of sticker books floating around. I carry this Posh Academy one quite a bit. I like using this for my daily planner during the work week because it gives me like school vibes, and I always consider myself a student, no matter in what position I am, no matter how advanced I am, no matter what degree I have, I always consider myself a student. And so I like using this Posh Academy sticker book for my daily planner when I'm at work. I also have this Mickey and Minnie seasonal sticker book that I used in my work planner last week. I always have one Happy Planner sticker book that I kind of rotate through every week just to get some use out of them. And I always pick one for my work planner to decorate my work planner every week. So I'm gonna put this one away now because I already used it, and I'll grab another one. Not sure which one I'll grab. Then I have Happy Goals. I just have a few stickers in this one. This is a sticker book I'm trying to finish this year. They're mostly icon stickers. I like using this in my daily planner, and actually I'm honestly thinking of tucking this into here. Because it's something that I always want to carry with me and that I'm trying to get through. I have Seasonal Teacher. I also like using this one for my daily planner. This is another sticker book I'm trying to finish, so I keep it around so that I can, you know, just like pick at it throughout the months. I wonder if it fits in here. Let's see. Yeah, barely. Okay, so let me quickly show you what I have in here, the rest of the sticker books that I have in here. Most of the sticker books in here are like work focused, productivity focused. I have a little sticker pad that's productivity. I got it in like a mystery bundle, I think, at some point. Just threw it in there. I have mini productivity. This is very like work focused, so I like having that in here. I have Everybody's Business, which is another like highly functional sticker book. There's a lot of like boxes, appointments, to-do lists, and it just feels very work related. So I have that one. I have Working Days, which is absolutely perfect. I love this one so much. I'm definitely going to like repurchase this one whenever I'm done with it. I honestly kind of hoard it because I don't want to use it up, but I have that one. I also have essential trackers and checklists because I love all of the boxes. And this is also just another super functional sticker book, perfect for work. So I have that one. And then that's it that I have in here besides the ones I just showed you. Oh, and then I also have these things here. These are just like a bunch of sticker pages of that I'm trying to finish. There's like barely anything left on some of these. And then also I have some holiday stickers that I like using for my work planner. So I'm trying to finish these stickers, so I just have those. And same with this little smiley face sticker pack. It's just a handful of stickers that are left in here. This is another thing I'm trying to finish. So I have all of that in this little sticker folio. Let's put everything back in. I usually leave this thing at my desk. I bring it home on Friday, take it back on Monday, and just leave it at my desk so I don't have to carry this around too much. So there we have that. I'll leave it unzipped for now. Let's put that to the side. And the very last thing that I have here to show you is my iPad, because I also combine a bit of digital planning alongside my work planner. And that's for various reasons. Number one is that we have to reserve equipment in the lab in order to use it. So we have a microscope that's very popular in the lab, and we have a Google Calendar, and you have to reserve the microscope if you want to use it. We have a tissue sectioner machine as well that you need to reserve if you want to use it. And there are a couple people in the lab who use these things. So I have to use the Google Calendar to reserve. And, you know, the early bird gets the worm. So I really like planning in advance so that I can book the times that I want. Otherwise, I'm at the mercy of just taking the time that's left over or the free times. So I have my iPad here ready to go so that we can book that microscope, the sectioning machine, etc. I also have to book my time in the vivarium. So that's where we keep all the laboratory mice. I do a lot of work with the laboratory mice. So I have to book that time as well. And that is just like a text-based chat that we have going on. And so again, there's a lot of people who use our mouse rooms. So the people who book early and in advance get the prime times to use the mouse room. So I have the iPad here, so I can go ahead and book as needed. And that is the whirlwind of my work setup. So let's get planning. Let's start off. You know what? Let's put the cover on last. Let's do all of the plans first. Okay, so let's get into our Erin Condren. Let's get into the last week of May here. Crazy. I'm gonna pull out the little bookmark because I don't like planning with that. And let's get started. So let me grab a sticker book that I want to use for this week. Okay, let's go with past times. This is just a Happy Planner sticker book. It's really cute. It's very spring, very floral. And I haven't used this one in a while, and you know, let's use this one. Honestly, the sticker books that I use for my work planner, I don't really think too hard about them, and I don't think about decoration or stickering in general when it comes to my work planner. I'm not trying to make it super cute, although it's hard to not make a cute spread because you're using stickers, you know. It's gonna be cute either way. This is not a place for me to be super creative. Where I'm creative is my creative journal. So let's get started. Let me see if I should zoom in the camera a little bit. All right, there we go. I'm gonna try not to be out of frame. Okay, let me grab a little bit more coffee. Okay, let me grab my Pentel Energel, and then let's start off with goals. This is how I've been setting up my work planner. Is I start off with goals, and I always grab like a little header sticker or something to put at the top here. And I'll write weekly goals. And then I map out my week in hourly chunks, in time blocks, in order to meet those goals. What is it that I want to do? And I always reference my goals in earlier weeks to see what it is I finished, what still needs to be done. So for example, I only had 3 goals last week. I needed a mild liner and I completed this. I completed that. I still need to do that. So that shows you what I need to do. And then I also completed this one. So I have still a couple of goals left to do that I haven't completed. Okay, so goal number 1 is going to be this goal that is still carried over from last week. I wasn't able to finish it, so I'm going to carry that goal over. And this is a meta-analysis of experiments 1 through 9 of a gene knockout experiment. So let me write that. So I wrote here, finish the meta-analysis of the GRP78 knockout first draft. And I say first draft because I want to be cognizant that I want to finish it. It might not be perfect, but it's at least completed to the first draft. Second, I need to take microscope images of all of the Sirius red microscope slides. So essentially, we cut slices of the lung from laboratory mice that are in experiments. We put them on microscope slides and then we image them on our microscope. We have a very fancy microscope that takes pictures. And we also, before we image them, before we take pictures, we do several different stainings to look at several different things. And in this Sirius red staining, I was staining collagen molecules, collagen fibers in the lung to get a sense of how fibrotic the lung is, how damaged the lung is. And so that's what I'm doing. It's a very timely process. It takes me up to 30-40 minutes to do one image. So I need to get through this. Goal number 3, maintain our laboratory mice at a rate of 95% fully genotyped. I also want to update our microtome protocol, so I'm going to write that. I also want to update the genotyping and protocols and print them out. This is a goal that I have been hoping to do since 2 weeks ago and I still haven't done it. I want to read this paper. I've been trying to read this paper for like a few weeks now and I just have never gotten to it. I read like the abstract and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna write here, read Basil et al. And lastly, my last goal is to do some troubleshooting of a genotyping experiment / assay that has been failing as of late. And so we need to figure out what the heck is going on with that. All right, those are enough goals for now. At this point, I will add like any meetings or events that are happening so that I'm aware of what's going on. We usually have our lab meetings Tuesday afternoons at 2 o'clock to about 4 o'clock. However, it's canceled this week, so I don't have to write that down. I do have a student coming in at 10 a.m. Monday. So I'm going to write that down. I have 2 other students, but they kind of keep their own schedules and they're independent in the lab, so they don't need me to be there. But I do have to be in lab for this student because she's not fully independent yet. The major thing that I have to plan out is the microscope imaging because, as I said, people book the microscope. I have a lot of imaging to do this week, so I really need to be booking that microscope and just planning out when it is I'm going to use it. So this is where my Google Calendar comes in. I pulled out my Google Calendar here on my iPad and I'm going to go ahead and book the calendar. So let's see. It looks like, let me go to the weekly view. It looks like someone has booked the microscope 8 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. It's popular, I'm telling you. So Melanie has it 8 to 10 a.m. Azris has it 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday is completely wide open, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to book that microscope from 9 in the morning to 5 p.m. I'm going to be on it all day and I'm hoping to completely finish imaging in that time. So then I have to put it on the microscope and let's see, let's edit it to, let's see, 5 p.m. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so there I am. I'm booked into that microscope 9 to 5 p.m. I think that should be enough time. It looks like Wednesday morning is pretty free as well. I think that should be enough time. I'm a little tempted to book it again Wednesday morning, but I think I have a little bit more time next week to do this. So I might go ahead and do that. Do more imaging next week if I have to do more imaging. So let's grab a box sticker. And I'm going to put it here on Tuesday. And I'm going to write Kian's microscope 9 to 5 p.m. Oh, already I'm seeing an issue. I'm going to put 9 to 4 p.m. here. And I'm going to change my schedule to 4 p.m. I have to actually leave work a little bit early on Tuesday because I agreed to substitute one of the art classes at my old prison job. So I'm gonna write that down here at the bottom, substitute art class. I have to leave work at 4 o'clock, around there, and drive an hour down to the prison, sub for that class until about 8:30, and then I'm back home close to 9:45. So I'm gonna write 4 o'clock to 9:45 p.m. So that includes the commuting, the class itself. So we have that going on. See, this is why I like planning my stuff, because gotta get all of the ducks in order. So 9 to 4 p.m. I'm on the Kian's microscope, and the goal here is to finish all the microscopy. I also have to go into the mouse house to do some weanings, so that's gonna take me a few hours. I'm gonna do it, let's see, I'm gonna do it probably after my student leaves. So I'm gonna put a box here, and then I'm gonna put mouse house, and I'm gonna book into that 12 o'clock to about, let's see, maybe by 4 o'clock I might be finished. Let's do 12 to 4, okay? And specifically, I need to do weanings and health checks. Nice. So actually, my student doesn't have a lot to do because we're pretty much all caught up with the colony genotyping. The students mostly work on the genotyping, the PCR, that kind of stuff. They're on the bench, but because we're all pretty much caught up with everything, I might have her work on the microtome to get some practice in. Microtome sectioning, and we might do some genotyping depending if I do see the need to do something. So that means I have to book the microtome. So I have to go back here to my calendar, and I'm gonna book, let's see, from 9 to about 12. So let's book onto the calendar. So I'm on a shared Google Calendar with the lab where we book equipment. So I'm gonna go onto the microtome. I'm gonna book it May 19th from, let's see, 9 in the morning to 12 p.m. and save that. So now I'm on the microtome. So probably at 9 a.m. right when I get to the lab. Usually what I do Monday morning is I check emails, see if there's anything I need to address, and then I'll also prep for the microtome. So I'll maybe do some practice microtome sectioning from 9 to 10. Then my student gets there at 10. Then I'll train with her, and we'll do either microtome sectioning practice, or we'll work on some genotyping depending on if we have things to do with that. Then at 12 to 4, I'll be in the mouse house. And then 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, that leaves me just 1 hour there at the end of the day. I'm going to do DNA extractions with all of the tails that I collected in the vivarium. And that will probably only take me like 40 minutes, so I have a little bit of time there left over. So any extra time, I'm going to read Basil et al. Nice. So in this bottom section down here, what I've been using this section for, oh wait, what time is it? 11:55. Okay, I have about, let's see, 30 minutes left, and then I have to go run out and get coffee with a friend. Okay, so in this bottom section, what I've been doing is I use this for like other work that's not my day job. So for example, if I substitute an art class, that goes down here. That's part of like, you know, just general career work. things like that. I also am trying to finish up some projects from my postdoc work and even my graduate research. I am trying to wrap up some projects and push them to publication. I also want to get into the habit of doing some programming, some bioinformatics whenever I can, because while I am learning a lot of things in this new position, I definitely am not programming. And programming was like the majority of my work, both throughout graduate research and the postdoc. And I really do not want to let that skill lapse. I want to grow that skill. I think it's very important as a scientist to be a good programmer. And it's been nice to take a break. I took, 8 months of a break from computer programming, but I do not want to lose it. I want to get better at it, especially since I do think that I am going to probably transition into a more rigorous job after my 2 years at this position, and one that would likely involve programming. So I want to make sure I'm still sharp with the programming. So down here, something that I want to do is send our collaborator a figure, which will probably take me like an hour or so to do. So I have that down there. And this is stuff that I do when I get home usually. I'll have some time in the evening, work a little bit on my other projects. Okay, now we're starting to see a map here. Map of my day. Tuesday from 9 to 5, all day I'm going to be on the microscope. So I'm hoping to finish the microscope imaging, the second goal here, in that day. I'm just going to be on the microscope all day. However, there is downtime when the microscope is imaging. So in the meantime, I want to work on the meta-analysis, goal number 1. So let me see if I can grab a sticker here. I'm going to put a sticker right here. How cute is that? I'm going to work on the meta-analysis. In downtime, work on meta-analysis. Why I call it a meta-analysis is that's the term you use when you are essentially doing an analysis over multiple experiments, or like a relatively large data set. It often encompasses multiple experiments, and you're trying to like bridge across experiments and across different data sets to come up with this, understanding of the larger patterns in the data set. So I'm gonna work on that. Hopefully we'll finish that. And by the end of Tuesday, I want to have the first draft of the tables involved in that meta-analysis. So the tables with all the data in there. Right now in the meta-analysis, I'm working on one massive table, which is all great and good. But in order to really like communicate the important aspects of that meta-analysis, I need to like kind of condense it into these digestible chunks of information. So I need to break down that massive table into several tables, maybe 3 or 4 tables. And so that's what I'm talking about. I need to break down that massive table into this first draft of tables. So that's going to be Tuesday while I'm doing all the microscope work. Wednesday is usually the day that I spend a good chunk of time in the vivarium, because that's the day when I check in on all of our mice and I check in on all of the breeding pairs. So let's see, I usually spend like up to 4 hours, sometimes even more, in the vivarium on Wednesdays. So let me grab like a little sticker here, and then I'll put mouse house, 9 a.m. Actually, we don't have a crazy amount of mice right now in the vivarium, so I don't need to be there like all day. But I think I could get away with being there until about 2 p.m. So that's 5 hours. I think I can get everything done there. And what I want to check in the vivarium is I'm going to check on all the things that need to be weaned. If they need to be weaned, I need to check on all of the pregnancies. I need to check on all of the breeding pairs. I need to, update cage cards. I need to check breeder chow. I need to do any resets if needed of mating pairs. I need to print cage cards. I've noticed we're running low, so print cage cards. So 9 to 2. So that's all that's happening in that. And then in the afternoon, I'm just gonna leave that Wednesday afternoon. I'm gonna leave Wednesday afternoon free. I do try to leave chunks of time
free in the day, at least 1 or 2 of free chunks of, anywhere from like 1 to 3 hours. I do try to leave some chunks open in case meetings rise up. I have, a section where I can say, I'm free Wednesday 2 to 5 without it messing up any of my other plans or schedules. I do like to have a little bit of buffer left over. I'm someone that likes to book myself 9 to 5 every single minute of the day. And so this has been something that has been a struggle to do. I do want to fill up my entire day and plan everything. And sometimes I do, but sometimes I do leave pockets of time open. And then for like my after work little work there, I need to read one of my collaborators' master thesis. We're trying to turn it into a paper, and so I need to do that. And I think what I'll do in that time after the mouse house and the end of the day, that 2 to 5 hour section, what I'll do, I'll leave it, I won't like book it in, but I'll kind of leave this as like, this is what I'm going to do if I don't have anything else going on. What I'm going to do is, let's look at the goals. Oh, I also want to like update the genotyping log. So that's where we put all of our data entry concerning the mice. So that's something I've been working on kind of a little bit every week, and I want to kind of dedicate a good chunk to working on that. So Wednesday, I'll do that. Okay, moving on. Thursday. Let's see. Thursday. Okay, by Thursday, things should be kind of starting to wrap up. Like a lot of my goals should have been met at this point. Like this should be finished, this should be finished, this should be finished. The protocols are the last thing that needs to happen, which I'm hoping to do on Friday. I like doing protocol writings on Friday because Friday I'm usually like so over the work week and ready for the weekend. So this is the easiest stuff to do. So I think I might save that for Friday. I should have finished basil at this point, but if not, Thursday will be a good time for that. And then the rosa tomato troubleshooting. Okay, so that's definitely something that I want to work on. So let's see. So Thursday, 9 a.m. to, let's say 9 a.m. to about 12 p.m. I'm going to do the rosa tomato troubleshooting and any other genotyping that needs to be done. However, there is a possibility that there is no genotyping to be done. I finished the rosa tomato troubleshooting before that 3-hour chunk is up. So I'll write or basil et al. So either I'm doing the genotyping troubleshooting or I'm reading this paper. I should be done with that at that point. And then for the rest of the day, 12 to 5 p.m. Let's see, what else do I have to do? Done. Friday, done. 12 to 5 will be, I'm going to work on the meta-analysis, actually. I might have finished it, but as I said, I would likely have just finished that first draft. So it's in the first draft mode. So I do have this chunk of time here Thursday afternoon to polish this. I think I'm going to try to present it in lab meeting in 2 weeks' time. So I want to have a nice presentation. So I'll work on the analysis and the presentation. And then for Thursday evening's task, I'm going to read through the comments on one of my manuscripts that I just got back from my mentor, my postdoc mentor. And then Friday, let's see. Friday. Oh, you know what? Something that I didn't do, which I should have done. I should have checked our mouse colonies calendar. So that way I can see if there is, if there's any weaning that needs to happen. I should have done that. I can't do it here on the iPad because it requires a desktop to do it. So I'll have to do that beforehand next time. So what I'm thinking is I could do a mouse house check Friday morning. So let's put down a little sticker, mouse house check-in. And let's say 9 to noon, 3 hours. I might not use all that time. Sometimes I do book like a Friday morning vivarium appointment or scheduling. And depending on what needs to happen, how much is left to do, how the mice are looking, that can take anywhere from just an hour to, the full 3 hours. So let's just book this time. I can always kind of shorten the time as needed. However, for the rest of the day, what I'll do is I need to finish the protocols. So I'll write down microtome protocol. Oh, and then I do have like a meeting, usually Friday afternoons. So let's grab my working days sticker book. Love these. There's some one-on-one meetings that I like to grab here. Where is it? I love these stickers so much. I'm honestly kind of hoarding them, but I shouldn't. So I'm actually leaving this open because who I meet with, she has a very busy schedule and she often shuffles our meeting time quite a bit. So I'm just going to leave this open, but I'm going to put a reminder there that in the afternoon, I'm going to be meeting with her, or she might even switch it to the morning. So we shall see. And then Friday evening task. Let's be real. I'm not going to want to be doing anything Friday evening. So I'm just going to put a sticker here and I'm just going to write none. And so I think this is the schedule for this week. I am hoping to figure out what to do with the weekend section. Because this is my work planner, I really don't feel the need to use these 2 columns, but I'm still not certain about what it is I want to do in this section. I've just been using it as like a decoration section. So let me grab, this is the Bright Type sticker book. Yeah, I've just been using it to decorate. I don't know if I ever want to use this section. I'm not sure. We shall see. I eventually would like to kind of be able to schedule like 2 or 3 hours over the weekend at some point to do some programming, some computer programming, just again for my own benefit, not work related. Although I would probably program in order to push some of my projects closer to publication, some of my, past projects, or there are a couple of projects in the lab that I would love to do a little bit of programming for. Again, not required at all for my job, my career, my position, but I could, do some cool programming projects that would help my job, make it easier, and maybe be an asset to the lab. So we shall see, we shall see. Okay, let's add a big box sticker right here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this box sticker. We shall see. It is Memorial Day weekend, so maybe I will have a chance to do some programming. If I do, I'll write it there in this big box. Let me put like a little sticker there. How cute is that? Okay, the last thing I need to do is book the mouse house. So I booked the microtome, the microscope. Now I have to book the mouse house. So we have a mouse chat here, and I'll look at my planner and I will say, hi all, I am booking the mouse house in these times. And then let's see, Friday. Okay, so that's the spread. Check that out. Oh, the last thing I want to do, some washi tape up at the top here. Let's use this Simply Gilded washi tape. So it's so cute with the florals and the little bears inside the florals. Perfect. Cool. That's it, you guys. That's the finished spread for the work week. Lots of pen, some stickers. But what I like about planning my work week is that I go into work with a plan. I don't have to think about it. I know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm supposed to be. And I have the type of job that I make my own schedule, essentially. I have lots of tasks to do, and I dictate what's going to happen when. But yeah, having a plan for the work week is just so nice. It just allows me to kind of just get going. I don't have to think about it. I'm not sitting there trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I have it all mapped out till Friday. It's kind of just like laying the tracks. And then Monday morning, I just get on the tracks and let my plan direct me, guide me, put me where I need to go, tell me what I need to do. And it makes the work day so much easier. That's why I'm a planning babe, a planning diva. Love it so much. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. This is going to be a long one, so I hope you enjoyed. So we're done here. So if you reached this far in the video, God bless you. Drop a mouse emoji down in the comments to celebrate the fact that we're doing a lot of mouse work this week, as always. And with that, I hope to see you in my next video. So until then, stay safe. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy planning. Adios. Oh, I totally forgot to change the cover. That's the last thing I was going to do. All right, let's change the cover. That's the last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to change it to this, this cactus, rainbow cactus cover. And I am going to tuck this cover into this little sleeve just to protect it. I honestly don't like putting things on the Erin Condren coil. It's so annoying. I think I could, you know, switch a cover in and out without too much difficulty. But adding pages and things like that, ugh, absolutely not. This is when I miss the Happy Planner discs. They're so much easier. Oh my gosh, this is such a pain. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. So that is the new work planner setup. It looks so cute. Love it. All right, everyone. Bye.